Hello and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. Today I'm doing a review of the Cougar Prime, and the Prime is just absolutely amazing, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But take a look at this thing. I really love this paint job. I call this Van Gogh, and I call this mech particularly RainMan. It's part of my series of RainMan builds, and for obvious reasons. I mean, look at this. I could have put a decal over these missile points, but wow, I just really love that look. Just so ferocious for so small a mech. There's a lot of things you can do with these because this is an omnipod mech, so that means there's a lot of things you can change about this mech to make it into whatever build style you want. But if you change the omnipods, you will lose the original quirks. And the original quirks on this, if you're a missile boat builder like I am, are amazing. Let's take a look at this guy. So I'm running 2 LRM-20s, 2 ER medium lasers, and what do we got here? 3, 4, 5, 6 tons of ammo, which is excessive. And I mean, it really is. It's each one of these tons is doing a standard 240 plus the 36. So once again, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 tons times 276 is 1,656 missiles. That is excessive. But let's take a look at this mech overall. The heat management, the way this is sitting on this build, is 1.41, which is well within the ranges in reason. Even if you were to take out a ton of ammo and put in like a tag laser or something, it's still really good. And the firepower is 52, and that is a standard firepower. If I had A-Team nuns down here, it would be different, obviously. It'd be, I think it's 56. And then the speed is 81, which is not fast, but it's good enough. It's definitely going to keep you ahead of standard heavy mechs in that regard. But let's take a look at the quirks, what really makes this thing special. So you have the capability of AMS, 2 missile, and 2 energy. When we get into the meat and potatoes, because we're keeping the original omnipods, XP bonus 2.5%, energy cooldown -5, missile cooldown -10, cooldown in general -15%. So that means energy cooldown is -20, and missile cooldown is -25. In addition, you're getting a range boost of 5%, energy range 5%, missile range plus 10%, heat -15 overall, and velocity plus 25. Now let's go to the base armor features here. Center torso plus 15. Wow. Left and right torso plus 12. Left and right arm plus 10. And then we get into base structures. Base structure for the right and left torso is plus 7. Left and right leg is plus 16. That's just staggering. Heat dissipation -15%. Overheat damage -20%. Sensor range plus 100. This is so very stacked, just the way it comes. Even if you didn't skill this mech up, this would be something else. Now, the way I have it built, as I typically do, is 2 cool shots and a UAV. I take advantage of those cool shots. But you know, the interesting thing is, the last 2 times I took this mech out, I didn't even use the cool shots. It's just, it runs so well. But I just automatically put them on there because sometimes you get on the maps and you still want to be able to fire a lot. And firing a lot is what I like to do in this build, and I'll show you what I mean. Look at this. This is something you don't see very often in any of my builds, ever. Cool run, or cooldown. Cooldown, excuse me. Cooldown. I've added 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 slots. because I want to fire this weapon system that much faster. I want to fire my missiles as quickly as I possibly can. So when you come back and look at the features here, the LRMs, they have a standard cooldown time of 4.6 seconds. So you have to wait 4.6 seconds between firing. Now, I added cooldown in addition of 1.426. So that brings this closer to 3 seconds. So fire 3 seconds, fire 3 seconds. Before it was closer to 5. And on the energy weapons, the cooldown was 4 seconds. And now it's, 2.96. So it's just under 3 seconds. So that's a real big advantage. And now doing that causes you to produce more heat. So you have to be careful when you do any of those kinds of things. But this mech runs exceptionally cool. So range, maxed out of course, 0 heat generation control. I'm not even worried about it. Velocity, absolutely. Missile features, fully loaded. Especially having additional weapon rack, because that makes a difference. Skeletal density, armor hardening. This is a light mech, so reinforced casing is hit and miss. Remember, I don't have to add overheat damage because it's got it built in. 81 kph is more than fast enough. By the way, I've had this mech for a really long time. Cool run, heat containment, and because this is an LRM build, I do have target decay, so when they go into cover, I can still fire on them. More importantly, the rest of my team can see their location a little bit longer. I also have seismic sensor because I do like to be a standing platform, but I have a tendency to move around quite a bit when I'm in my mechs. I automatically assume somebody's watching me at all times. So even if I don't have a ping, I like to move around. Radar deprivation, absolutely a must, especially if you have a light mech with it's kind of easy to target. Somebody could do 3 heavy PPCs and wipe me out if I wasn't paying attention. And then my 3 consumables. And how I fire this is just as simple as it gets. Buttons 1 and 2 on my mouse is left and right, and then I fire these in alpha fire versus chain fire. I don't go 1 and 2. I just go 1, and it fires all 40 missiles. And then I wait about 3.5 seconds, and then I fire again. I fire them as quickly and often as I possibly can. My goal is to empty my missile racks and also to hit targets. Now, this is an Omnipod mech, as I mentioned before, so there's a lot of different things you can do with this. If you don't mind missing some of these features here, you can go in and go to the Omnipods and change things around. One of those things you can change around is you can put an additional energy point in the head. And let me show you what that looks like. You probably have to save it. Did it put it on there? Oh, I forgot to put the energy point on there. My bad. So you put this on, and then you come here, and now there's a laser right there in the head, right above the cockpit. So if you can see it, you can shoot it. So sometimes when I run this build, I will go with something a little bit more deliberate. And now understand you're going to keep some of the quirks here, like energy cooldown, base armor. You're going to get some of the missile features here and the missile features here. And once again, the energy range and stuff. Now, what I like to do, and what I mean by being a little bit more deliberate, is you put an ER large laser in the head. And now you've got mad range. And so what I typically will do in this situation is then I'll just put on a pair of SRM6s. And then go with a little bit better heat management. And we're just keeping the missiles on there, even though they're not the proper missiles, but you get the overall idea. And then if you go with something like this, and you put a clan active probe on, now you have a heat management of 1.6, you have a firepower of 47 with range, and you're still at your 81 kph. But more importantly, you've added this ER large laser that can get you that distance out, further out, and be a hunt and poke, hunt and poke, hunt and poke. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. Let's go ahead and reset this back and change out my omnipod. Do the prime and put my ammo back. And so you see, basically, this is just a absolutely stellar build, and this works exceptionally well. And you should give it a try. And for the gentleman that commented on one of my posts on YouTube, this is for you. So you were talking about getting one of these just to try the LRMs, and I'm here to show you that if you wanted to add a tag in the center and then still have your energy points out here by changing out the head torso head omnipod, you can do it, and you'll still have plenty of ammo. Anyway, I hope this was useful, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.